it's Jordan from RPC, and it's August, a brand new month. I am so excited about this month because we're talking about one of my favorite things in the Bible. We are going to be learning about creation. When God made the heavens and the earth and the dark and the light and people and animals and plants and the sea and the land and so many incredible things that only God could do. So to get started with our lesson on creation for today, I thought it would be fun if you and I created something together. That's why I have my lab coat on, because today I am a scientist. So you can't see everything that's on my table right here, but don't worry, I'm gonna show you. We have some baby oil. Freeze! I'm gonna put up a picture right now on the screen, and it's gonna have some of the ingredients to what we're creating, and I want you to guess what it is before we start. So here's the picture. Ready? And what do you think we're making? Any guesses? Slime! That's right! Okay, so we have baby oil, we have contact solution, we have some glue, we have measuring cups, we even have some glitter, my favorite colors. We have a bowl, we have a spoon, we have water, we have safety goggles. Okay, I'm gonna put them on. This is very important. So my eyes are protected during our science lesson. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna read the directions. It starts with glue. We need 6 ounces of glue. Have you ever done this before? It's been a long time since I've made any slime. 6 ounces, that's a little less than a cup. Oh yeah. Okay, see all that? Woo! All right. Woo! Pour it in the bowl. Then I think we have some water. Don't worry, I'll share my recipe, so just in case you want to make it at home, you can. How much water? 2 tablespoons. Got my handy dandy tablespoon right here. Let's do 2 tablespoons. This is half a tablespoon, so I have to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 halves make 2 wholes. All right. I think I probably should start stirring. Now, what do we need? Time to add some baking soda. I don't have my baking soda. This is not good in the lab. Freeze! Okay, fear not, we're all good. I had baking soda. Okay, so how much baking soda? Half of a teaspoon. This is half a teaspoon, perfect. We're gonna do 1 scoop of baking soda. Start to stir. Stirring is very important. So here's the thing. You and me, we're creating slime today. I hope it works out, right? I told you it's been a long time since I've made any slime. But God created huge things like the world and the sky and the sun and the clouds and the grass and the trees and the ocean and the sand and animals like whales and butterflies and puppy dogs and you and me. That's amazing, right? That's like a miracle. And so the really cool thing about that is that God started with nothing. Can you see what I'm doing? Stirring it really good. He started with nothing. There was nothing. And he literally is the most creative person ever. God is the biggest creator that has ever existed. His masterpiece, you and me, is the coolest thing that anyone has ever made. Now let me tell you this. Did you know that you were created in the likeness of God? You know what that means? That means that there are things in you and in me that remind God of him. That's pretty cool, right? Like, what about when you are really kind and helpful to your brother or sister or maybe a friend, and you do something really nice that they didn't even ask you to do? That reminds God of him. Or when you are really respectful and responsible and you make the right choice when mom and dad haven't even asked, that reminds God of him. There's lots of things about us that remind God of him because you and me were made in his likeness. So, hold on. What's next? Glitter. Should we add some gold? I think so. Pinch of gold. Ooh, it's so fun. Do you see that? You can't really see it. You'll see it in a second. I'll show you. See it? Oh yeah. Now some blue. Gold and blue are pretty. Okay. Woo! Awesome. And I think after we stir this up, the last thing is a little bit of baby oil and the contact solution. Okay, how much contact solution? 1.5 tablespoons. Shake it up. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. Now I'm guessing in the science lab. I'm not supposed to do a lot of guessing in the science lab. 1.5 tablespoons. This is a half, so we're gonna do 3. Woo! 1. Woo! 2 and 3. Okay, here we go. It should start to turn kind of slimy. So far it is getting thicker. Oh guys, it's getting thicker. Can you tell? Ah, so cool. Okay, oh my goodness, y'all, I think it's gonna work. What? We've got to add a little bit of baby oil. I think the baby oil makes it softer so that when you touch it, it's not quite so sticky, I think. Okay, stirring. Look, we did it! We totally made slime! I'm pretty proud of this. I don't know about you, but imagine how proud God is of the creations that he made like you and me. He's gotta be so proud of that. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's put it in my hands and see what it feels like. I'm kind of nervous. Ah, it was awesome! Slime everywhere! Well, thanks for helping me make this. I want you guys to enjoy a super awesome worship song and then our Bible story, and I'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Bye.
Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2.
In the beginning, the very beginning, before the first breath, before the first flash of color, before the first moment in time, there was nothing. Nothing. Nothing except God. But when God saw nothing, He saw a blank canvas. He saw the perfect backdrop for a work of art beyond imagination. So, God created. From absolutely nothing, He brought forth the heavens and the earth. But there was no shape or form. God's Spirit hovered over the dark emptiness. Then, God called out,
"Let there be light."
Brilliant light shattered the darkness like golden trumpets on a still morning. Bright rays shimmered and danced in all the hues of the rainbow. God saw the light was good. He divided the light from the dark, calling the light day and the darkness night. Evening and morning together shaped the very first day of all time. Then God said,
"Let there be a huge space between the waters. Let it separate water from water."
By His words alone, God shifted the waters, leaving a vast arching space above, the sky. Evening and morning rolled past, the second day. God lifted His voice again.
"Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place. Let ground appear."
Dry land shrugged its way out of the water. Islands and vast continents and gritty deserts and towering mountains. God called the dry ground land, and He called all the gathered waters seas. But God had even bigger plans for this day.
"Let the land produce plants, and let there be trees on the land."
In moments, tall grasses unfurled across the plains, and giant redwoods shot up from the dirt. Flowers and grapevines and carrots and corn sprouted and flourished. God saw that all of it was good. That evening and morning closed out the third day.
"Let there be lights in the huge space of the sky. Let them separate the day from the night."
At the sound of God's voice, the blazing sun exploded into being. The silvery moon spun out. Stars and galaxies flooded into space, filling the universe. Pew, pew, pew. God set the sun to rule the day, and the moon to rule the night. And God saw it was good. That evening and morning made up the fourth day. But God wasn't done painting His masterpiece just yet.
"Let the seas be filled with living things. Let birds fly above the earth and across the huge space of the sky."
Instantly, the seas and rivers and ponds writhed with dolphins and octopi, salmon and minnows. Eagles soared and bluebirds nested, while ostriches stretched their long necks. God saw they were good. That evening and morning formed the fifth day. But God kept working on His creation.
"Let there be livestock and creatures that move along the ground and wild animals."
At once, animals of every kind appeared. Elephants thundered through the forests, and squirrels darted up tree trunks. Monkeys chattered, and pigs rolled happily in the mud. God saw it was all good. But He had one more creation in mind.
"Let us make human beings so that they are like us. Let them rule over the fish and the birds. Let them rule over all the animals."
Then, with His own hands, God formed the very first man and the very first woman, Adam and Eve.
I'm me. And you are you.
And this place It's beyond words.
Unlike the animals, God made people in His image to reflect Him.
Have children and fill the earth. Rule over the fish and the birds and every living creature. I am giving you every plant on the earth for food.
God looked over everything He had created and saw that it was very good. That evening and morning were the 6th day. And on the 7th day, God rested. I mean, His work was finished. His glorious creation was complete. But because God had formed people in His image, they too could reflect His imagination and creativity. The possibilities ahead of them were endless.
Okay, so we had some worship time. You heard our true Bible story from the book of Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible. We're in chapters 1 and 2, talking about God's creation. So while we're talking about God's creation, our word of the month is creativity. They kind of go together, right? And creativity is imagining what you could do because you are made in God's image. So imagine all the things that you've got to be great at because you were made in the image of God, right? There's so many things that I know right now you could tell me that you're good at. Think about it, right? Maybe you really love sports. Maybe you're really good at soccer. Maybe you're really good at baking. Maybe you're really good at math. Maybe you're really good at listening to your friends. Maybe you're really good at making slime, right? It could be a bunch of different stuff, but I know that we all have really cool things that we're good at because we were made in God's image. We have a new memory verse today, but before we do our memory verse, I want to do our discussion question together. And our discussion question is actually our challenge for this week. So go grab a grown-up in your house, maybe an older brother and sister, someone who lives with you, and talk to them about this. Here's the question, are you ready? Where in the world do you see God's creativity? Name one place where you can see God's creativity. My favorite thing, one of my favorite things, and one really cool way that God shows His creativity is in sunsets. I love going outside at the end of the day and seeing the sky all painted with orange and pink and beautiful colors, and no sunset is exactly the same. So every single day, it's kind of like a gift that God gives us, this awesome way to end our day with this beautiful masterpiece in the sky from God. So that's one way that I love looking at God's creation, at God's creativity. So you tell me, where do you see God's creativity? And then ask the person you're talking to, where do they see God's creativity? Now, we have a memory verse that's brand new for the month, and it's in the book of Psalm. Okay, so that starts with a P when you look it up. The P is silent, so you don't say it. The book of Psalm, chapter 145, verse 3. Here's how it goes. Are you ready? Arms up. Lord, you are great. You are really worthy of praise. No one can completely understand how great you are. Psalm 145, 3. Okay, try it again. Ready? Lord, you are great. You are really worthy of praise. No one can completely understand how great you are. Psalm 145, verse 3. That's it. And that's a pretty amazing statement, right? We can't even begin to understand how great and amazing God really is. He's the coolest ever. So, oh gosh, I'm losing my glasses, my goggles. So just like today, we made slime together, think of all the things in the world that God has created. There are so many, I bet we would never be able to name them all. But I want you to think about that. Put your comment in the box below, and one lucky winner is gonna win, it's different, their own slime kit. So I wanna hear from you. I'm gonna pick a winner, I'll let you know, and then we'll see you guys next week for an awesome new lesson about God's creation. Let's fold our hands and bow our heads. Dear God, thank you so much for every friend who's watching this video today. I know that in the month of August, there's some big stuff coming up. We are starting school, we're gonna be getting into a new routine, and we may be a little nervous about that. So today, God, we wanna pray for our teachers, that they would be really excited and really ready for us to start school, even if it looks a little different this year, and pray for all of our students, that they would be ready to learn and excited to see their friends, even if it's not in person. We love you, amen. All right, guys, I will see you next week, okay? Don't forget to play the game, okay? Slime winner this week. I'll see you later.